Valiants joining, and today is Bookmas Day 5, where I talk about books that I want to read in 2019. I know I could pick like all the books on my TBR, but I narrowed it down to 10, just because I think 10 is a reasonable number, even though I might not read all of these in 2019, but I'm gonna try my very best. So let's get started. The first book I want to talk about is To Kill a Kingdom by Alexa Christo. I know this is The Little Mermaid retelling, and I haven't read this yet, but I really want to, so after reading Sea Witch, it makes me want to pick this up, so hopefully I will in 2019, because I've heard nothing but good things about it. The first book, or the next book that I want to read in 2019 is Incarnate by Jody Meadows. I've heard it's an underrated book, so I thought I'd add an underrated book on my TBR. Basically, this book is about this world where when a soul dies, and then they come back, but when one soul died, a new soul came in, and that's Anna, the main character, and then the story goes from there. I just thought I would pick this up. Again, it's an underrated book. Plus, Haley from Haley in Bookland has talked about this on her channel, because from her earlier videos when I've so new to booktube, so I thought I'd pick this up. Plus the cover is really beautiful. The next book I want to read in 2019 is Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody. You guys know that I've read Daughter of the Burning City by Amanda Foody. I definitely want to pick this up because the sequel is coming out, and I thought this should be on top of my TBR, especially when I really enjoyed Daughter of the Burning City so much. And this is basically a fantasy world with casinos, or anything that deals with casinos, which really grabbed my interest. Plus, I really like the cover, especially the symbols from the playing cards, and I just wanted to pick this up because I'm still beating myself up for not reading it in 2018, so I want to read this in 2019. The next book I want to read in 2019 is A Whole New World by Liz Briswell. This is a retelling of Aladdin, obviously, but it's one of those books that has a what if question, like what if Aladdin never found the lamp, and the story goes from there. I've been interested in reading these since it's by Disney, and especially with the titles, it's kind of obvious as from Disney, and I know they have one of Beauty and the Beast, A Tale as Old as Time, which is the third one. I'm pretty sure you don't have to read them in order, but I thought I'd go chronological order, and I definitely want to read this really badly because it's Disney for one, and two, I think it would be a good read for me, especially when my trip to Disney World would be closed, not until another year and a half, so I thought this would be a good read for me as a Disney fan. The next book I want to read in 2019 is Fury Born by Claire LeGrand. All I know about this book is a fantasy that have two main characters, one queen from the past and one from the present, and they tell their stories back to back, and the story goes from there. I just want to read this so badly, especially when I've heard a lot of good things from BookTube, and I really love the cover too, which is really beautiful, and I really want to pick this up because I think it will be a good fantasy. It might be a fantasy that I would end up liking. The next book I want to pick up is My Life Next Door by Huntley Fitzpatrick. All I know is it's a contemporary book about this girl who meets this boy next door, and they start a relationship, and I just thought I need a contemporary book to pick up in next year, because I've read a few contemporaries, especially when I keep reading heavy fantasy novels, and I'm need something light and fluffy to read, and thanks to all the boys I loved before, I want to pick up more contemporary books, especially the ones that everybody keeps talking about on BookTube, and I thought this would be a good contemporary book to pick up. The next book I want to pick up in 2019 is My Plain Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. This is a sequel to My Lady Jane, but it doesn't follow with the same characters. This is a Jane Eyre retelling with ghosts, and I wanted to pick this up since I got this in Owl Crate, especially after I've read My Lady Jane. I know people say you don't have to read it before reading this one, but I did that anyway, and I end up loving it, and I really want to pick this up because I've heard good things about it, plus a new twist to a historical fiction. I know it's Jane Eyre is a classic character, like from a classic Jane Eyre, but I have not read Jane Eyre, so maybe after reading this, I will pick up that classic book. The next book I'm want to pick up in 2019 is Anne and a French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. All I know is a contemporary book that people talked about on BookTube a lot, and I want another contemporary book to read in 2019, and I think this would be a good one because it's about this girl who goes to boarding school in France or something, and then she meets this boy, and I just need something light and fluffy to read, because I feel like most of the books on my list for 2019 is fantasy. I mean, I love fantasy, but I want to try to read like more genres other than fantasy next year. So again, would be another book that I want to pick up after reading like a heavy fantasy, and I need to read something light and fluffy. The next book I want to read in 2019 is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, and this book has been on a hype since it came out, and I really want to read it, but I didn't even pick it up until I bought this at Half Price Books, and I know I just need to read it because it's so popular right now, and the sequel's coming out next year, so another reason for me to pick it up, and I really want to read it so badly since I've heard nothing good things about it. The book I want to read in 2019 is The Valiants by Leslie Livingston. I really wanted to read this since I did my own readathon, which is Summer Fun Readathon, but I didn't even pick this up at all just because it's mostly about like read as much as you can, just read in your own pace. That's the purpose of my readathon, but I want to pick this up really badly and I didn't. So, and it's about this female gladiator, and that's all I know about, and it sounds awesome because especially when she dressed like that she's in preparing for war, and and plus the sequel came out this year, so I haven't picked this up yet because I want to read it so badly. So that's all the books I want to read in 2019. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and comment down below what books should be on top of my TBR for January, just because I'm so behind my TBR that it's not even funny, and I really want to definitely the ones that just came out in 2018, and I want to read those so badly, but I did not pick them up for whatever reason. And if you want to follow me on social media, I have Facebook under Lost Reader, and I have Twitter and Instagram on Lost Reader 19. I also have Goodreads, which are linked down below. If you don't want to miss any of my new videos, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!